Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Real Talk for Real Teens, hosted by Kim Creighton, or as she's known by the people who know her best, Mama C. The show where we uniquely combine the information teens need with the entertainment teens want.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are back for another episode of Real Talk for Real Teens, and my name is Kim Creighton, and tonight I have my co-host, Jeanine Russo.
Hello, everybody.
I want to apologize for anybody. The show has changed. Just like life, things happen, and things change on the dime. So tonight we will not have Marcel on here. We will be talking about college freshman do's and don'ts. And this was Janine's idea. She came up with this at literally less than an hour before we were supposed to go on the show, because that's when we got the email that our guest wasn't going to show. And so we're going to talk about that. And our artist tonight is April Kae. We've had her on the show before, so we're going to feature her music again. So introduce yourself to the audience again, Jeanine.
Hi, yes, I'm Jeanine Russo. I am a junior at Hofstra University, and I'm ready and willing to bring the perspective. It's been 2 years now since I was an incoming freshman, so let's get started.
All right, let's go.
Should we do college causes of failure in college first?
You know what? We're just gonna wing this puppy. So whichever way you go, I'm following.
Alrighty then. Well, this comes from the University of Alabama's Center for Academic Success, and so we're just going to go through some of what they seem to think are the top 10 causes of failure in college.
Ooh, okay.
So, number one is understanding the amount of work required. They say that because a lot of students don't understand the amount of work college courses can entail, they may assume that it's about the same level of responsibility as high school. That can lead to their failure. What do you think, Kim?
Dr. Appleby spoke about this when he was on the show a few weeks ago, and it is so true, and he made a great point. In high school, the work that you do, you can usually get it all done in class. Very seldom does a teacher lecture or whatever for the whole class. They're spending time because basically that is what's considered in high school, not a best practice. So in high schools, teachers are mandated to walk around the class. They can't stand at the board. They're supposed to stop and answer questions as they go. They're supposed to so if someone walks past their door, if their administrator or supervisor walks past, they want to see them fully engaged with kids. So kids have, if they're in there for 50 minutes or if they have a block schedule of 130 minutes or whatever, they can really get their work done. And so homework is actually homework. In college, your professor is going to do whatever they're going to do, and you don't have time to do homework. Homework is specifically for home. It's to go over your notes, whatever you had, whatever the notes were from that class. It is to look at that syllabus and see what are upcoming assignments. It is all those things that high school students aren't used to, because that's not how we prepare young people in high school, because the mandate is that for teachers to be that hand holder, and in college they're not. So yes, I can see because there's so many opportunities to get the work done in class that they don't think about it. When you're in college, go ahead.
Another point, too, is the difference between regular courses versus AP courses. I find that if you take AP and honors courses, you are better prepared for college, and a lot of students don't know that. Because, yes, to your point, I remember, going by some of the regular courses and seeing the teacher spoon-feeding the notes, whereas in college or in AP and honors, you have to go back and look for the information yourself. You have to take your own notes from the textbook. You have to decide. You have to be analytical and critical and decide what's going to be important out of the information. And I think that sort of enhances your critical thinking and research skills, which is a big part of college.
And I'm glad you brought up the AP and honors because yes, you have an idea of AP and honors. And I think that, I'm going to be honest, I think that's because of your personality. But I know tons of AP and honors kids who are still not ready for the course load because they've told me that all they got from AP or honors was how to pass a test. They had more work, but all the work was geared towards that AP exam or whatever that final exam was. So they did very little research, and that's the big difference between college, and I'm glad you hit on that, college and high school, is the research component. Just getting somebody assigning you a book and you doing a 5-page or 20, if they even tell you a 20-page synopsis of or review of the book, that's not research. Research is an original idea, and that's one of the things, and that takes time. That takes effort. That takes work outside of whatever your professor is giving you to do. And they don't have much practice, if any practice, in doing real research, or what a college would consider research.
That's interesting. I never really thought about how AP courses could vary from, state to state or school district to school district, how the requirements were different. I thought it had to be up to a certain standard nationally. So
and see, that's the thing. You take the same national exam, but how that class is taught is the same way. There are some, I guess, rigors that apply to honors or AP, but I'm just going by what these young people have told me, and they've told me all they learned to do was how to pass a test.
Wow. Because
everything was focused on passing that AP exam. Just like for them, it was the same thing as like in Georgia, before you had to pass now you have to pass the end of course test. But before you had to pass the Georgia high school graduation test, and each state has their test. So for a lot of places, a lot of places in public schools, just be honest, it's about, for AP students, it's about passing that AP exam. So when you're focusing, again, I don't care what it is, but if all your efforts are focused on passing an exam, that's where all your, the teacher's going to laser beam on that. And all that other stuff that leads to research and qualitative, and that critical thinking stuff doesn't get taken care of because that exam is what's important.
Right. And so the next cause of failure in college students is other activities. And this is actually very ironic that I have to speak on this because I am the queen of overextending myself and then having a bunch to do and then freaking out and stressing out at the last minute because I've got, tests in all these courses and then a paper due here and a research paper due there and a presentation due here, in addition to, my internship and my job. And so I think
and clubs and games, going to games and parties and everything else that comes with it, yes.
Definitely. So I think it's important that, incoming freshmen are very realistic and pragmatic about the sort of things that they would like to get involved in and what they can actually get involved in while still maintaining a good grade point average. Because that's what you're actually going to school for, to learn. And I think people lose sight of that in all of the games and clubs and activities.
Well, I think, and again, it goes back to your first thing about the workload. They're not used to the workload. They're used to being in high school and having this free time. When they get home, if they have some homework to do, it's usually, an hour, 2 hours, and then they don't have anything on the weekend. So they're used to that, and so, again, they're taking that mindset of what I did in high school would easily transfer into college. And as you know and as I know, that just doesn't work.
Right.
So you get to campus that first weekend and you sign up for all this stuff, and then you haven't even gone to, you're pledging sororities and fraternities, you're doing all this stuff, and school hasn't even started good yet.
Mm-hmm. Which leads to procrastination and failure to turn in your stuff on time. Not that I would know, and I'm just kidding. So, I definitely feel that, people need to sit down with maybe a counselor or an advisor to talk about, even in high school, before they even get to college, to just talk about what they like to do and what they think they can handle. There really should be a course on this in high school.
And it's fine. I encourage people to do, to be social, but it's finding that balance for you. And it doesn't even have to be a counselor because there are only so many counselors and so many thousands of students on a campus. So if you know somebody, even your RA on your hall, that's one of the things they're supposed to be there for, is to help you adjust. Or you come in contact with an older upperclassman. Hey, can you sit down and discuss some things with me? How was this for you? So if you want to be on, the cheerleading team, go talk to a cheerleader. Find out how much time they have to do this thing. Because cheerleaders, oh my God, it's every season. And it's all the time. And so you might not get to your homework till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So those are the things you need to know about. So what we're going to do is take our first break, and when we come back, we'll get started on number 3, will it be?
Yeah, number 3.
All right. So you go ahead and introduce our musical artist.
Okay, so tonight we are hearing music from April Kae, and the first song of the evening is called For Real.
Become a better man, and nothing in the whole world don't matter, long as you can hold my hand. But baby, I've been hurt too many times to follow love blind. I need you, baby, to give me a sign. For real, can I trust you with my life? Will you be there for me, baby, when I come home each night? 'Cause love will never last if we can't be true. So tell me, baby, can I trust you? Will be all better for us if I'm along for the ride. But baby, I am scared to let you know how deep my love can go. Oh, am I ready to grow? Can I trust you with my life? Will you be there for me, when I come home each night? 'Cause love will never last if we can't be true. So tell me, baby, hey, I want to love you so, but I'm scared to let it go. My past has taught me
back to Real Talk for Real Teens, hosted by Kim Creighton. To talk live on the air, call 347-539-5226.
Okay. So we're back with
we are back.
Yeah, with the 10, what is it called again?
This is the 10 causes for failure, the top 10 causes of failure in college.
Okay. And just to let you know, we're going to talk about the top 10 successes on another show. So this will be a two-parter. So let's go into number 3.
Yes, number 3 is vagueness about long-range goals. So I take this to mean college incoming freshmen or college students in general, really, because I know a lot of people that have bounced around from major to major without any real clear direction or end goal in sight, no clear-cut definition of what they see themselves doing upon graduating or even into the distant future, because we don't always get our dream jobs right off the gate, but not even a goal to aspire to. And I think that can cause people to slack off. It's hard going through something as, daunting as college without knowing where you're going, without seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And that can cause a lot of incoming freshmen, or like I said, this is more of a college student in general, but it can cause a lot of college students to become lost in their journey.
Okay, I'm going to speak to this from a kind of a different angle, because I am a proponent of, honestly, especially, and I believe this when I was in school, but especially I believe it now, unless you're going into some real heavy engineering, medicine, law, I really don't think it matters what you major in. What I do think, though, is that you have to make a choice, and if nothing else, to say I'm going to graduate. I think that's the thing that is missing, because even as I think I've told you before, I have people in high school who say, oh, you ask them, so what are you going to do after school? And they come up with these ideas. Let's say they want to be a dentist, and they have absolutely no earthly clue what it's going to take to be a dentist, and are doing absolutely nothing to get that information to figure out what it's going to be as a dentist, to be a dentist. Because I think college is that last ditch effort for those who have not decided, that last place where you can really practice, make some mistakes, and really figure out what you want to do. Because again, a lot of people who my undergraduate was in interior design. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, but once I got to my internships, I realized, not so much, but I finished, because I recognized that with this piece of paper, it would open some other doors. At least that was out of the way. I enjoyed what I learned. I had some fun. I learned a lot of skills. I really got to practice and exercise my creativity, which I loved. But I was okay that it was not, I didn't, and the reason I'm saying this is because I want to caution that even if you decide, that does not mean that that's the decision for your life. It's the fact that young people aren't making a choice, period. So they're being encouraged to go to college a lot of times from their parents, and no one's talked about just why are you there? Why are you here? And if they ask themselves that question, maybe those answers you're talking about, Jeanine, would come to mind. Hey, why am I here?
Right.
Why? What's the purpose of even coming to this place? And that's outside of the fact that my parents said I had to come. And that's the thing with high school also. You have these kids who they have to go by law. They have to be there. They may enjoy some classes, they may not, but they don't have a real sense of ownership of why they're there. Why is getting an education important? They don't grasp that, or why getting these skills are important. That's why you see kids who go to technical colleges, they do so much better because they know, if I decide to go to a technical college and I'm going for air conditioning repair or whatever, it's very clear what I'm going for because I've made that choice.
Right.
But when go ahead.
I think college is, depending on where you go, but I think that, a lot of places can be very expensive, though, to not know what you're going to do or to pick something just for the sake of making a choice and then ending up with something that you hate and then having to go back because then you go out into the real world and find that job you do love and then have to go back and spend that money again to get the degree to qualify for those jobs, right?
Yeah, but my question, but I got you. But where are they going to get that? Where are they going to get that opportunity to figure out what they like if they go? So I get, but I'm not saying that don't make that choice. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if not in college, where do they find out what they like? That's what I think is where the place where they should be experimenting. Now, I'm not saying spend their whole 4 years trying to figure that out, but take some class. When you have it, as they do, those electives. Find some things that you because you don't know. Because a lot of times, coming out of high school, you only know the things that people in your family have done or something you've seen on television. No one is doing real research usually. I'm not going to say no one. Most young people aren't doing real research to figure out what that thing is until they get to college, and then they start taking those courses, and they're like, nah, that's not what I want. And that's one reason you get them flitting around back and forth, because they haven't, and I was one of them. I had not spent the time. I always knew I was going to college. That wasn't. I mean, it wasn't because my mom pushed me or anything. I just knew I was going to college. What I was going to college for, I went and started as journalism. Then I got a job as a volunteering in a dental office. Oh yeah. And then I got a job volunteering in the dental office, and I loved that. So then I wanted to be a dentist. And then I just because I had never no one ever gave me the option before. So college was that place to really explore. Now, mind you, if I had made better choices or started asking those questions earlier, it would have been less challenging for me. I would have kind of figured it out, or at least kind of been in the ballpark. But again, I want to caution you, because even you, as much as you think you got it together, that might change. You might come out of school and run up against something. Like I have one of my mentees. She was in medical school. She wanted to be a heart surgeon until she got breast cancer. And from her experience, she went into plastic breast reconstructive surgery, because now that became her passion. So she's still in medicine, but she moved to plastic surgery and then specializing in breast reconstruction.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, have that openness. Be willing to explore different things and not stay. But the thing comes in, at some point you're gonna have to start asking your questions. Ask yourself, what do I like to do? What am I? No, how honestly, Jeanine, when you were in school, and maybe you met, how many people, and when you were in high school, asked you what you were passionate about? Or your peers?
I feel like I got asked that a lot. I think we got asked the question more, what do you want to be when you grow up, versus what do you like to do? So I think that's very critical that you brought that up.
Yes, exactly. So it's always what do you want to be, not what do you like to do.
Right, because what do you want to be also, you get influenced on by so many different things. The media is telling you different things. This job's going to make more money. This job's going to make less money. This job is more socially acceptable. And so,
I mean, how many of those things did you see that come out? Oh, the 10 best jobs or college degrees where you can make money. So then you run after that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
so yeah,
the vagueness. I always. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I think I always liked writing.
Yeah. But yeah, you like writing, but there's so many things to write. How can you? Some people like writing technical stuff. I would shoot my brains out. But some people like that. So it's really exploring, because even within writing, there's so much to write about, and no one's talking about those things. See, that's what I'm talking about. So at least get in a ballpark of but start asking yourself questions. What do I like to do? And then go on the internet and figure out, type in, for people who like to do these things, what are jobs they can do. and then start exploring them. So what's number 4?
Well, number 4, actually, I think we kind of took 3 and 4 and mashed them together, because 4 is inappropriate choice of a major. Whereas in number 3, we kind of talked about, not being clear on what types of jobs you want to do, and then we kind of mentioned choosing a major within that. But 4 actually is an appropriate choice of a major. So, I mean, I know what you said earlier about it not being as important to have a clear-cut definition on what you'd like to major in, because as long as you have a degree, that's all that matters.
Well, not necessarily. I just think that some people, I just want to, it's not that I said that, what I meant that. What I meant is, okay, what am I actually trying to say? What I meant is spend that time in college figuring out what that passion is, and then tailoring your curriculum to fit that. Instead of letting them tailor the curriculum to fit you, which might not always work, go in with, hey, having asked myself the question, what am I passionate about? And that goes also when you said inappropriate courses. Sometimes you're at an inappropriate school for what you want to do. But all
that actually is a little later on down the list.
Oh, okay. Because that plays a role in where you're going. Go get into the best school you can for what you're interested in, because they'll have more options to help. So if you want to get into marketing, go to a school that specializes in marketing, because there are going to be a crap load more marketing, different types of marketing classes than a school that doesn't have a reputation or for marketing.
Yeah. They really do go hand in hand, because you could have, like you said, you could have a major that's right for you, but if you're at a bad school for that major, then you're not going to enjoy yourself. You're not going to get what you need to get out of it to be competitive in the workforce for that particular field. And
you won't get the breadth of that, the wide expanse of that major. So that's what I mean when I was saying writing. There's so much to writing besides just writing. There are all different kinds of writing. So if you go to a school that is really big on writing, you're going to have all different kinds of writing styles, writing techniques, using different technologies. It's going to be cutting edge for writing, and that's where you want to go.
And I think people underestimate also the importance and the power of the double major, because when you do that, you can kind of create your own major. You can say major in such and such, and then by double majoring in another area, you've just created a specialty. For example, I'm a journalism major. I want to be an international correspondent. I want to expose some of the most underreported issues around the globe and try to shed light on it, various facets of human existence. And so I'm a broadcast journalism major, and I have taken out the second major of global studies. So within that, yes, I'm a journalism major, but it's almost like I'm concentrating in international reporting.
Exactly, but you couldn't have done that had you not asked yourself the question of what are you passionate about.
Right.
So that goes back to that number 3, those vague majors and classes or whatever. So we're going to take our next break and introduce our next song.
Right. Okay. So again, we are listening to April Kae, and the next song is called Writings on the Wall.
Remember the things you said to me, so many promises to keep. You writings on the wall. Ooh, ooh. The next time you see me, I'll be toasting our past. Autumn leaves have made me see the life can change so fast.
Follow us on Facebook at Real Talk for Real Teens and on Twitter at RTFRT Radio. Welcome back to Real Talk for Real Teens, hosted by Kim Creighton. To talk live on the air, call 347-539-5226.
All right, we're back, and we're talking about college things that lead freshmen to failure, and we're on, what, number 5, last 7, 8?
Yes, we are on number 5, and I actually forgot for a second because I'm still dancing in my head to that April Kae song. But number 5 is poor language skills. It says here that a student must be able to read, write, speak, and listen effectively, and not all of those skills are really honed in high school, in particular the speaking and the writing portion.
Yes.
I mean, not the writing, speaking and the listening.
Oh, no, there's the writing as well, because college professors are saying, yes. College professors are having a hard time with these writing skills, and a lot of, and now when you're talking about financial aid, I mean, school costing money, 33% of freshmen, and I want to say this, 33% of freshmen have to take remedial classes for the first 2 years before they can even get into their college courses. So now, automatically, I'm paying for 6 years of college. 2 of those years were because I did not come in at a level of being able to matriculate effectively at the college level. And one of those major issues is writing. That's big. A third of students.
I had no idea, honestly. Wow, this is definitely news to me. So exactly where does the responsibilities lie? Does it lie in the school system, or do you think a lot of that responsibility falls on the student?
Well, I'm going to tell you just from what I know what the mandates are for high school for most students. Now, I'm not talking about AP students. And because the average student is not the AP student. They're in a regular public high school, and they're considered good or bad. The mandates for success in high school do not equal the mandates for success in college. So there is not an equal, as if like a step, like a ladder, is not equal. So it's not. And that's the issue that is the disconnect. So there are a lot of kids, even I know AP students, who find success, who have had unlimited success in high school and get to college and are blown away because the criteria is different. So that's another thing I like to stress. Parents. I really don't want to hear how successful your kid is in high school. I really don't. I need them to demonstrate something for me because you know how I am about demonstration, Jeanine. Yeah. I need them to demonstrate. Don't tell me because, again, they're being taught. Schools won't tell you this, but they are being taught the test. They need to pass these exams. Colleges don't have that same mandate. You need to pass that professor's class. There is no standardized English 101 class across the whole university. So one professor's English class, 101 class, syllabus is going to be different, criteria is going to be different. All of that is going to be different. So it's very different. So I guess what I'm trying to explain, you would think one through kindergarten through 12, where it should have been a step ladder. You know, each step you take a different step to get to the next one, right? So you get to the top of the ladder. Well, just as Dr. Appleby said when he was on here, please don't think of freshman year as 13th grade, because it is not. Now you're on a totally different ladder. It's not a continuation of that same ladder. Mm-hmm. You're starting a whole new ladder.
Exactly.
And that's what parents and students need to understand. So I say schools aren't for everything. K through 12 is to get you through K through 12. The mandate now is college and or career ready. I don't really know how they're going to do that with the mandates that they already have. Again, that's that bureaucracy. So their mandate is to get you college and career ready. But how do they do that within the constraints of what they already have to do to get you to get out to graduate? Those are different things. So I suggest parents, you're going to have to, I'm sorry, some of those $200 shoes you're just not going to have to buy. You're going to have to supplement your kids. Because I was with one of my babies today, and she's going to stand out. Some $150 pair of Jordans come out on the 5th of October, and she's talking about she's going to stand outside. I just can't understand that. So especially when you can use that to take a course in something or to give specialized training. But parents don't know that. They have this idea that high school is supposed to cover everything, and that's just not the way it is. That's not how it was meant to. Public education was created during the time of Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution. We are in the age of information. It's totally different.
Yeah. Which actually is a very nice segue into reason number 6, which is a lack of personal standards of quality. It says before college, judging a student's work is largely the teacher's responsibility. Now students, I'm switching off into my words. Now, once you get to college, you are responsible for judging your own work prior to handing it into your professor.
Yes.
You should have the critical thinking skills. You should be able to assess your own work and, think to yourself, hey, is this something I really want to turn in, especially because and this kind of goes back to the understanding the amount of work required. The differences in the college grading system are so vast within the differences of the high school grading system. In high school, you can have chance after chance after chance after chance to get your grade up before the end of the semester. In college, you might have, 2 research papers, a test, and then your final, and those are it. So if you fail even one paper, that messes you up for the entire semester. The best you can get is like a B- at that point. So,
and not only that, again, let's go back to the mandates that teachers have in high school. The mandate is with the work that you have, they are mandated to give this criticism. So they can't write on the paper good or whatever. They have to give you detailed notes. And that's the mandate. That's what your teacher is getting evaluated on. So if their principal comes in and looks at a portfolio of student works, what they want to see, or if it's on the board, they want to see, and I can't think of what it's called, but they want to see the many words that a teacher is going to put on each and every single paper to critique your work and to help you build your skills. And that, again, is why I say the bridge between college and high school is not equal. It is a different ladder, because no college professor, his TA, or anybody else is going to give you that much freaking feedback. Not going to happen.
Right. They're not.
Even in a if you have an appointment to go see them in the office, they're not going to give you that kind of attention, because you hit the nail on the head. This is where you need to start self-evaluating your work, because that's what's expected for you in the workplace. Your supervisor is not going to come behind you with a red marker and say, no, this is not. Go back and do that. No, this and go back. That's not how the real world works.
See, I disagree with you there. I feel like at least my experience has been the professors will tell you exactly what you did wrong, so you'll know. But it's up to you, the student, to figure out how to do it right for the next paper, the next test. So if you get the punishing criticism, you just have to figure out how to do it right. You've got to take notes. You've got to go.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. They're going to tell you. They're gonna mark it up, but they're not gonna tell you how to fix it.
Right.
They're gonna. So, and then they won't do it after that either. Usually you get that one chance.
Mhm.
But what I'm saying, in high school, not only are they gonna mark it up, but they're gonna sit back and tell you what you need to do to fix it. And most professors are not going to do that. They're going to say, "Hey, this is what I need," and they might question you a bit, but they're not going to sit back and say, "No, that's not really what I was thinking." That's just. And if you have those, I guess you're great. I didn't have those kind of professors. First of all, if you go to a school with 10,000 people, they don't have that kind of time in their schedule, even with their office hours.
Mhm.
If you have a class that has 300 people in it, a professor just doesn't have time to do that kind of grading.
Right. Not to mention the fact that he's got other classes to teach.
Exactly. And then then I hear so many, well, he didn't do this because it was his fault. That's not high school. It's not high school.
Mhm. It can be very stressful, but which is also why there is topic number 7 on this list. And this is actually a very serious topic. It's one that's close to my heart, and I'm sure Kim's as well, especially given the topic of discussion for last week's show. But topic number 7, reason number 7, is interference from psychological problems.
Okay, we're going to take our next break, and we're going to get into that because I want to discuss that. So we're about to take our next musical break, and then we'll talk about that. So go right ahead.
Okay, so now we are listening to Let Me Go by April Kae.
or unknown music artist, we need you for the show. If you'd like your own mini concert, please send a request for information to realtalkforrealteens@gmail.com.
All right, we're back. And what was number 7 again? Because I wanted to make sure I didn't want to interrupt for the song. So what was number 7 again?
Right, 7 is interference from psychological problems. I know that a lot of freshmen, college is a stressful time, and I think that people often say it's the best 4 years of your life, and it is. It's a great time, but it can also be one of the most stressful if you don't know how to handle it, because it's a pretty drastic transition if you're not prepared. And so that has led in the past for different people to depression, anxiety, some people, and you're finding yourself, I know bipolar disorder is a pretty common one as well. And not only are you dealing with that, but you're also dealing with hiding it from your peers, with the stigma about mental illness. And on top of that, you've got your schoolwork, and it can just be confusing. So first of all, I'd like to start off by saying, if you know or if you are somebody undergoing that right now, I encourage you to get help right away, because it can be treated and it can be helped, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And a lot of people are susceptible to it.
And one of the main reasons is, one of the many reasons is, again, it's not 13th grade, so it's for a lot of people, and again, let's go to these AP students, it's the first time in their lives when they ever had to really do any work. Some of these kids are just, in high school, just naturally, they didn't have to study, they didn't have to do anything. And they think college is going to be an extension of that. So that's a stress. Again, college is not on the same ladder as K through 12. It's a whole different ladder, so that's a stress for that. Some of them have never been away from their parents. Some of them have never been able, to get up. A lot of kids have never had to get up on their own, never had to do their own clothes. Just some basic things. Find out where you're going to eat. Have to deal with the fact that you've used up your meal plan for the month already, and you have some more days going on. There are a lot of different things that cause stress in that environment because it's just so new. And again, people need to be preparing young people for this by just asking them simple questions. Those conversations need to happen before you get there. And again, and to piggyback on what you said, if you find that I'm sleeping way more than I normally do, I just don't seem as happy as I normally am. I'm just really irritated all the time. I just don't want to get out of the bed. Whatever those things are, even if and it could be manic. I am just all over the place for some reason. I'm usually not this hyper. What is going on? I can't focus. All these different things. Then go speak to somebody. Start with your roommate, your friend, your RA on your floor at school. If they deem it more serious than that, or even if you go see the school psychologist. Go see somebody. Talk it through, because a lot of it, believe it or not, has to do with your lack of being able to manage your life. It's really not a matter of a mental illness. It's that you've never had so many responsibilities in your life, and you just don't know how to handle all this. It's just way too doggone much right now.
With the lack of boundaries, a lot of people just coming out the gate can make the wrong decisions, and that's a completely normal part of life. Everybody makes wrong decisions at some point, and being that you're college freshman, you probably feel that you can cut loose a little bit and do what the rest of your peers are doing. I know I did. I had that mentality, and, I had ups and downs, within the first 2 years of college, because now I'm about to enter my third year, but everything's not, fun and games all the time. And I think a lot of people don't realize that too, and that can cause a lot of.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of people. The only thing they think about is college is the band because or whatever it is. They don't think about all that comes with successfully completing a college education. And again, even why are you just asking yourself, why are you here? What is my point of being here? Why am I spending these 4 years or whatever here? What is the point of that? And that can alleviate a lot of stuff when you find yourself in that stressed out, you have a paper you haven't done or whatever. That helps a lot when you could just sit back and remember, okay, I know why I'm here. Let me calm down, or let me just get back on task. Okay, maybe I need to write out something, but this reminds me of why I'm here.
Right.
Okay, what's number 8?
So number 8 also goes along the lines of what we've been talking about this evening, and that is failure to assume responsibility. Things happen, life happens. You go off to college, you make the wrong choices at times, and sometimes they're easier to overcome and sometimes they're not. I think that one thing people are unaware of just going in is that there are more consequences. Because you have less boundaries, you're going to face more consequences. And so people don't, in high school, you ditch school, you get grounded by your parents. In high school, you ditch classes for too long, you end up getting thrown out the class. So I feel like people aren't necessarily equipped to, I know I've seen this happen to my peers and things that I didn't even think about, didn't even consider going in. But, people not being able to own up to some of the things they've done because they don't know what those consequences are most of the time.
Or just not used to taking consequences on themselves because, again, like you said, their parents bailed them out a lot. And a lot of times that's an issue in parents' efforts to protect their kids and to make sure they're not preparing them for, again, what's going to happen when they're outside of your home. And that's what you want to make sure that they can function outside of your home. Or parents, they're going to be there because I have been posting all over the place how these young people are not leaving the house because they're not ready. A lot of these young people, even if they had the money, the job, or what, they cannot function on their own effectively. They don't know how to transition from your house to their own because they've never had to practice those skills. They've never had to take ownership of their behavior. Mom and dad was always there to bail them out, and sometimes they need to fall on their face just so they know how it feels. You're there to pick them up, but they need to fall on their face so they know what that feels like because nothing teaches a better lesson than failure.
Yeah, that is very true. And, I'll say this, college is a time where you learn and you grow. I feel like you grow the most there. I mean, in the 2 years that I've been in college so far, I feel like I am become a completely different person, in a sense.
Exactly. I'm going to be honest, when I talk about college, everybody knows that you can find anything you want to on the internet. You can, unless again you're going into those specialized fields, you can do everything you need to get a college degree free on the internet. But what you can't do is get what you just said, that valuable learning experiences that are going to help you. And I think that 4 years, that is the best reason for me to go to college. That's the best reason I can give anybody to go to college, is to spend those 4 years figuring out who you are, what your boundaries are, and where your values are. And and you change so much. And that's where you have that, it's like that cushion before you have to go out in the quote-unquote real world and have to it's preparing you so you're better prepared to deal with, that first boss who's a jerk or losing a family member or whatever. You're learning those things, and you're learning to do them on your own with your parents at a safe distance away to give you encouragement or whatever. But you got to learn how to figure it out yourself because bottom line, it is your life, and you're going to be held. The federal government is going to hold you responsible for you. So you better learn as quickly as possible how to take care of that, how to do that for yourself. And I think college is that perfect place to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's number 9?
Number 9, yes, I think is very important. Selection of the wrong college, because we spoke earlier about this sort of in tandem with choosing the wrong major. However, there's so much more to picking the right college than just what's your major. You know, people often don't consider how far, or, you know, a lot of people do. I shouldn't say that. But these are some of the things to consider. How far away from your house is it? You know, a lot of people can't handle the stress of being too far away from their home right off the bat. You know, how far away is it? How expensive is it? The type of people that are going to school there. Because if you go to a certain school that's primarily a commuter school, you might not have as much interaction with people, or you may be going to school in a wealthy area, in a wealthy, affluent area, and on full scholarship, say, if you are coming from a family without some of those advantages. And so you're feeling like a fish out of water, and that can be very stressful on a freshman.
Yes, exactly. And not only that, but you know, why go to a school in the north when you don't like cold weather? You're going to be miserable all year. Why go to a school in the south if you don't like heat? You're going to be miserable all year. Why go to a small college or a religious college if that's not what you? Those things. Those are things you really need to think about. Yeah, it's great to go to your parents' alma mater, but if you don't like what the alma mater, then don't go.
Mm-hmm. Or why go so close when you know you're going to see some of the same people from high school that you couldn't stand? Oh my God,
yeah, that gets me. Yes, you're going to be in the same people you went to high school with. You know, get beyond yourself. Go outside the country. Do something. Be adventurous. Again, this is these 4 years to just really just explore and push your boundaries. Step outside your comfort zone, because you won't know how far you can go until you do it. And again, college is that perfect place to step outside your comfort zone.
Right.
All right. What's number 10?
Okay. So to wrap it up for the evening, the last reason for failure in college is lack of ability and or poor high school preparation. So this has kind of been an overriding theme this entire evening. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let Kim, Mama C, share your thoughts on that, because I know you have a lot to say.
Well, it just goes back to, again, being honest with what high school is, or what that K through 12 is, what that role is. Don't expect that to be the answer to all your questions. It's just like me going to, let's say, I'm trying to give I wanted to give something ironic, but I'll just give you, just going to a doctor, okay, and expecting them to answer all of my questions when they are, okay, let's say you going to a general practitioner that knows a little bit about everything, and it can send you out to something. As opposed to, so they're going to give you a little bit of everything. Your general practitioner, it knows a little bit about, your tonsils. You come in, you have a flu. That's who you're going to go to. But if you have a heart disease, if you need a surgeon, you're not going to go to your general practitioner. You're going to go to a surgeon. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with the general practitioner. They may even refer you to the surgeon, depending on what your insurance is. But I'm not going to have my general practitioner do no surgery on me. And I wouldn't expect them to be able to do surgery on me. And then this is the same thing as then getting pissed at them when they do something wrong. That's not my job. My job was to give you some ibuprofen or a bandage, put a cast on your leg or something like that. I wasn't supposed to go inside your chest. But you insisted. You called the superintendent. You did all these other things to force me to do something that is not in my privy. That is not what I'm here for.
Right.
So if you recognize, young person or parent, that your child has a weakness in reading, and they're in high school, High school ain't about to sit up there and help them with their reading. Sorry, it ain't going to happen.
Not.
So now you need to do something on your own to get them ready for their reading or their writing at that college level, because high school is not going to do it.
That's so true.
And see, that's why I think a lot of the frustration comes with, people saying schools are failing. They're expecting stuff to happen at the school level that wasn't intended to, and they've changed the focus of school so much. Now these schools are doing so much they're a jack of all trades now, and they can't do. Man, it's so hard to get if your child isn't motivated, it's hard for them to function in high school, let alone you want to send them to college.
Right. So the onus really is on the student and their parent, whoever's trying to send them to college, which is great preparation, really, for going to college.
Exactly. So let them do, they do that schoolwork. Yeah, they have that schoolwork, but doggone it, every night they need to be on somebody's website doing some research or doing something, participating in some extracurricular, doing some intern at some business where they're learning critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and critical thinking, creativity skills, and learning how to cope. Learning how to cope with failure, learning how to cope with disappointment, learning how to cope with loss, learning how to cope with happiness, learning how to cope with failed relationships. All those things need to happen, and that's not the school's responsibility.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely not, especially when you think of America and its place and its status and position on the global scale. I remember once learning that in a high school global studies course that the Japanese high school entrance exam, even high school is not guaranteed over there, and their high school entrance exam is a lot tougher than our SATs to go to college. So they have a weeding out system. They don't at each grade level. At each quote unquote graduation, they have to pass a test to go on to the next one. If they don't, then they go right into the workforce. And that's a lot of schools. A lot of other countries because they don't consider an education, particularly a college education, as a right, whereas we do. But that's the type of mentality that you're going to be up against when you go to college and you're among these international students.
And not only that, when they're coming here, a lot of them, their families have sacrificed for them to be here, so they're going to be on their piece. They have no choice to come home failing. Oh my God!
Mm-hmm.
Their only reason to be here is to study. Their reason to be here isn't to party. So a friend of mine made a great analogy. He says, go to a college, Georgia Tech's, or any major college's library. And this isn't a racial statement. This is a true statement. And when the library closes, go right before the library closes and see what kind of students are coming out of there. Most of them are not American. We're at the party. We're sitting in front of television watching the latest episode of whatever reality show that's out there. They are closing down the library because they have a different ethic when it comes to education and the value they put on it.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. I'm not. Let me put that back. Because I'm not going to start biting my tongue now. I'm not saying that we can't have it. The majority of our students don't have it because they didn't have to have it in high school. So why would they transfer that? Why would you think all of a sudden if your kid was not doing well in high school, couldn't focus, wasn't doing homework, why do you think all of a sudden they're going to start doing it in college?
I don't know, and that's a scary thought. But next week, I guess we'll be talking about some of the positive things that college students can do to make their transition a lot smoother.
Exactly. So we'll be talking about, I don't think it'll be next week.
Not next week, yeah.
Yeah, because our co-host is next week. But in the next coming up, a few episodes coming up, we'll be talking the part 2 of this episode, the things that will make you a success in college, the top 10 things. So thank you very much, Jeanine, and being very flexible, again, with our last-minute cancellation. And we're going to listen. and we're going to listen to the last song. I want you to introduce the last song by April Kae, and we're out of here.
Okay, but before we close the show, I do want to say special thanks to the University of Alabama and the Center for Academic Success, because that is our source of the list of causes of failure in college
there you go.
This evening. And right now, to close us out, we will be playing April Kae, A Love Like This. Thank you so much for listening.
All right, good night, everybody. See you next week.
Baby, what I have with you can never be replaced. I feel like I must have known you in another time and place. You get me so excited whenever you're around. I have been so enlightened by the special love I found. I never had a love like this before. You make me feel so right. Never wanted anyone like this, 'cause baby, you're always on my mind. And now I have all of my prayers answered. The stars are all aligned, and I'm so in love with you. You are one in a million. Tell you how I know it's true, 'cause nobody else I've been with could ever compare to you. I told myself that I would never ever fall, but if you promise to love me, I will give you my all. Never ever ever, 'cause baby, you're always on my mind. The stars are all aligned, and I'm so in love with you. Look what you've done to me. You've got me so in love, and I can't stop. And I can't stop. And
Thank you for listening, and please join us each and every Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern for more Real Talk for Real Teens.